postponed the game earlier, so we don't even have to think about that. But obviously, we have just an inundating rainfall. Now, this is falling in an urban environment, and it is training. So that means rain after rain after rain after rain, and we are getting incredible amounts of accumulation coming down very quickly, and that is going to be a huge problem. We will likely have flooding, road flooding on highways. Think about 480, think about 77, where we typically have flooding. It's going to happen today. On 90, we've got that issue too. I'm going to pop up the rain rates here, especially because really this is the big thing that we have going on right now. This incredibly heavy rain. And when you see these fuchsia colors and these white colors, that means it is coming down. And look where it is, right on 90. So from Rocky River into Lakewood, west side of Cleveland, the Tremont neighborhood, Cleveland proper, right down into the Edgewater neighborhood, and then farther east, Bracknell to Euclid. We have incredibly heavy rain coming down. That is right on 90, right on US 2. And that is also going to head out into Lake County too. Lake County, this rain is just beginning for you folks. We have a lot more to come. You basically have all of this rain to get through. We also have very heavy rain that is falling out around the airport right now. Areas farther south towards Strongsville, Broadview Heights, Middleburg Heights. This is coming right up into the Parma area. I know in Parma, we have a lot of areas that are prone to flash flooding in this type of a situation. This is going to be the case, I think, right away of Transportation and Brook Park Road, the Sam's Club there. You know, there's that ditch that always floods. It's always a big problem. And then, of course, there's also basement flooding that takes place in Parma thanks to some older infrastructure. That will also head for Old Brooklyn and then eventually over toward the Heights areas. So if you are in portions of Garfield Heights over to Shaker Heights, Pepper Pike, this is coming your way. Mayfield Heights, Mayfield over into Cleveland Heights, University Heights, all the Heights areas. It is headed eastbound and you will have some inundating rain coming very quickly. Meanwhile, we're finally starting to see this round of rain backing off just a little bit for areas around North Olmsted. But look what's up the pike. We've got even more rain that is starting to come down in portions of Lorain County. We have seen incredible amounts of rain, as mentioned. Let me get to, let's see if I got the rain rates. Nope, I don't have that. Hold on. I'll go click on it over here. I'll make sure we get it. We'll get the radar estimated rainfall for this area, just to kind of put it into perspective for you. And I can do a little magical query here to show you where we're getting some of these really impressive rain amounts. This is 2 inches of rain, just because I can out over the lake, 3 inches of rain. So I know it's radar estimated, and the radar is trying to calculate a bunch of different things. Your backyard rain gauge may say even more because of how all of this is being wrung out by these thunderstorms. But most certainly we have some very heavy rain that is coming down. The good news here, we don't have a whole ton of wind that we are dealing with this, but you're probably hearing some boomers too, as the thunder and lightning is pretty prevalent with these storm systems, even though it kind of looks like on big picture they're starting to rain themselves out. There's that rain. It's coming down in downtown Cleveland, as mentioned, now out to Euclid, Richmond Heights, Shaker Heights, Beechwood getting in on this action. Farther south, Oakwood Village, you haven't had the rain yet. It is still to come. Same for Macedonia. I think you will get clipped by this batch that's coming through Brecksville and Broadview Heights right now. But look at Parma right up into Old Brooklyn. Very heavy rain that is coming down. And keep in mind, this is coming from the Cleveland National Weather Service radar. And within, a certain radius around the radar, we really don't get great data. It's good data. We don't get great data because it's right above the radar site and the beam goes out more horizontally. So once we get out to about 3 miles or so, we get a better idea of how all of this is looking. And it is looking like very heavy rain that is falling indeed. We've also got the chance to look at the Grafton radar. We'll pull that up in just a little bit, but just to kind of get that idea that we have some very heavy rain. So thankfully here on YouTube and on our social media channels, we have the opportunity to talk to you without interrupting, of course, the Preakness, which they were loading the horses in the gate, and it's just the worst possible time to cut in, and we never would do that. But boy, there's a lot of folks who are interested in what's going on today because we do have just this incredibly warm, incredibly soupy area. air mass. You throw in a couple fronts that wring all that out, and this is what we end up with, some very heavy rain. We have some very heavy rain that is also falling in portions of Stark County, Tuscarawas County, and Carroll counties right now. This is a potent little thunderstorm. No severe thunderstorm warnings on this as of right now. We still have the watches that we're talking about earlier today, but you can see this is going to continue to move to the east into Carroll County. Stratiform rain, which means just a steady rain, steady as she goes, in portions of Wayne and Holmes counties. And then farther west, look at all this rain. This is all still to come for greater Cleveland. So when I talk about very heavy rain rates, why that is such a problem is because it is coming in over areas, number one, that are already saturated. We've had that 2 inches of rain out to the west, but it's also coming into an urban area. Concrete, parking lots, buildings, and all of that water just doesn't get absorbed very quickly. It overwhelms all the infrastructure, all the storm sewers, and it never has a chance to catch up. It takes some time. So we will be draining out very slowly, but we will start to see some improving conditions, especially for downtown Cleveland. You can definitely see the biggest punch is right on this leading edge that's coming through right now, right on and just east of I-77. But this super heavy rain, look at this, into Lake County and then back here, western Lake County, and in these areas of greater Cleveland. This is just absolutely overwhelming the drainage systems at this point. Matter of fact, Frank, can we pull up that CSU cam once again? I do want to take a peek at that. All right, this looks better, right? Whew. Okay, breathe, that's good. But just to kind of give you the idea, that's the picture we were showing you before. And you couldn't see the buildings. So that is just an idea of not only what we're seeing on this camera, but what drivers are seeing on the highways and whatnot. Now you throw in road spray on top of that, and it certainly is a bad situation. So the rain is coming down. We have that very steady, heavy rain in downtown Cleveland sitting right about here, and then that will continue to move out east on 2, and then also into portions of Lake County. We're not alone. I mean, look how all of this is kind of taking over the I-71 corridor all the way through Columbus and into Cincinnati. One thing to note, we kind of had these little cells that popped up earlier, very vicious looking cells. And if you were outside at 2 or 3 o'clock, I mentioned it yesterday, you saw the towers going up, those big towering cumulonimbus, those heavy moisture laden clouds, and they begin to rain themselves out after a while. Obviously water's very heavy, and the buoyancy in the atmosphere gets overwhelmed even by how much moisture there is, so it all starts to rain down. And that's part of that, the efficiency that these rain showers have. They just wring out all the moisture, and so we end up getting these beastly rain events out of these things. But notice that the reds and the nasty specific cellular reds are starting to kind of fade out a little bit into more yellows and oranges and even greens, which is great news. That means it's not as intense. It's still falling, but hopefully it's starting to gently rain itself out, and we'll continue to see this backing off a little bit. As far as the temperatures goes, the heat is out of here. If you did not like the heat today, that's the good news. The heat is out. Cool air is still banked off to the north of us. That gets here for the day tomorrow. Let's do a real quick hour by hour assessment here as far as the forecast goes. The southwest wind continues. Here's our thunderstorms, and notice how they continue to move out. That is some great news. We will have some lingering showers tonight. We'll probably have some fog that sets up too, but you can see by tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. that's some pretty good news. Folks are still going to be running the race at this point. We may have some scattered showers, some drizzle and mist around, but you can see the temperatures are a far cry from where we were today. We made it well into the 80s. Tomorrow we're going to be sitting in the 60s most of the day, so definitely feeling cooler. I'm going to back it up old school style, just with the reverse button. All right, look at all the lightning. Okay, the lightning is always a great indicator of just how nasty a storm is. We get a lot of lightning because of upward lift. So you get the hail going up, churns things up, we get that lightning going. And where we have the most intense lightning, oftentimes that is the most intense thunderstorm. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a severe storm. It just means we have a lot of energy inside of it. And our most intense thunderstorm right now is in Stark County, specifically out by Louisville. I think this is just north of East Sparta. This is probably going to clip into portions of Minerva and Alliance as it's going to continue to move to the east here. There's Alliance, New Franklin. Minerva sits down this way. East Sparta is down into southern sections of Stark County. Canton here, Louisville right about here. Let's see, we have Plain Township, Jackson Township sitting down this way. Lake Township is where Hartville is. You move over toward Marlboro Township. So you can see all this heavy rain, and this is going to continue to move to the east. Let me see if I can get this thing to loop for us. Aha, check that bad boy out. So this core of this storm is sitting just southeast of Canton right now, and it's going to skirt right up this way, right up into Alliance. So if you are in Alliance right now, or if you have friends or family in Alliance and maybe they're sitting outside, get them inside and tell them to hunker down, because we do have some strong storms coming in. This is not a severe storm, so please don't worry about that. But definitely we have a lot of lightning going on with that. And you can even see we've got this rain that's coming down up around Copley and Wadsworth Norton area, Barberton right now. That's going to head right into the west side of Akron, up over downtown Akron, and points farther north up into Cuyahoga Falls too. So, you know, it's one of those things where you knew it was coming, hopefully. As of yesterday, we kept saying it's coming throughout the afternoon. And then about 2 o'clock, we started to get our first little pops on the radar west, and we've been continuing to watch this. I do want to tell everybody we do have a flash flood warning that is going on for areas out in Erie and Huron counties. Right here, that's this green, right there, that green box that you can see. And that is that same cell that is now sitting in downtown Cleveland and moving east into portions of Lorain and Cuyahoga County. So you're draining out. It's going to be slow because this is still some pretty decent, moderate to at times heavy rain that is coming down in portions of Erie and Huron counties, but even into Richland County, we're getting some of that steady rain, and Ashland County, especially western Medina County out by Litchfield and Lodi, Wellington up into portions of North Ridgeville, Columbia Station, and you know, that is going to continue to move to the east into Strongsville. Flights out of Hopkins Airport could be impacted by this. They will do a ground stop if we've had some lightning. So we may have some, you know, right now there could still be some minor delays at the airport. They'll start to catch up. But those planes are probably taking off from the north. And if they are, or to the north, they're going to have to kind of skirt right out this way. So it'll be a bank to the left as they do their takeoff this afternoon and this evening ahead of when all of this is supposed to get out. Let me select the hand now. Come on, don't get finicky with me. There we go. Let's get back out here into portions of Cuyahoga and Lake County. Very heavy rain coming down. There's Cuyahoga County, Cleveland down through Grant Avenue, Slavic Village, straight south on 77 toward Brecksville and Broadview Heights, Seven Hills. Independence is in here. And then you move a little bit farther to the east out 422 way, and you get into portions of Chagrin Falls and Bainbridge, right up into Chardon area, you folks, in Chesterland. This is all coming your way. Menor, Paynesville, Menor on the Lake, and then you eventually get out toward Fairport Harbor and Madison on the lake, Geneva on the lake. There's just all these little towns and cities that is going to see this very heavy rain coming right up over it. Meanwhile, Geneva on the Lake, there's a beautiful campground here, state campground. If you have never been out there to do some camping, it's pretty nice. But that is not going to be the best of places to be right now. So if you have folks who are camping out that way, maybe give them a ring and tell them that they do have some rougher weather coming. They want to head over to the inn if they can. That's over, it's just outside of the state park. It's right there, same kind of an area. And then meanwhile, farther south, Rootstown, north of Rootstown, but we do have another West Branch State Park that's sitting out here in central portions of Portage County. That actually, right now, it doesn't look too terrible. There's one cell just south of the reservoir there, but we will see more of these little rumblers coming in. And then, of course, you get out toward Pymatuning, Andover area. We do have some heavier rain that is going to be coming, but for right now, I guarantee you, folks are still fishing on Mosquito Creek and then out here toward Pymatuning. So most certainly a very active afternoon here in Cleveland, but not for every single part of Northeast Ohio. Can't get away from these alerts, of course, as we do have these various alerts to talk about. Most of this is flood advisories. Where you see the green boxes, that's called a flood advisory. Typically, that means there is impactful flooding that's taking place. It's not necessarily dangerous flooding. So this is why we were talking about the roads flooding. It could be overwhelming some of the infrastructure, so the sewers and whatnot will be overwhelmed. I would have to say stay away from Edgewater Beach today for the rest of the day, and probably for tomorrow too. That will be overwhelmed. There will be a combined sewer overflow happening there probably right now. And then Erie and Huron counties, where you see this bright green box, that's the flash flood warning and also flood advisories in that area. The yellow that you see is the severe thunderstorm watch. I really think, based on how things are looking on this reflectivity picture, which of course is how the radar is seeing raindrops and all of that stuff. This is all stratiform rain. This is all kind of that gentle, moderate to at times heavy rain, maybe some gentle rumbles of thunder. This is more of the stuff that's pretty nasty, that heavy hit of rain, loud booming thunder, nasty lightning, and that of course goes down east side of Stark County into Carroll County and points farther south. So once this initial line goes by, things should tame down just a little bit. It's one of those porch setting type of thunderstorms where you could sit outside and I do it. I never get to do it. I would be doing it today, except I'm in here. But you know, you get to sit out and actually enjoy and feel that thunder. It's a great time to tell kids about thunderstorms and educate them a little bit. Helps to take a little bit of the fear out of it. But when you see these bright reds and where it's more cellular looking, that's got a little bit more punch to it. And you want to stay inside when that takes place, even if it's not a severe thunderstorm, which at this point we don't have any severe thunderstorms to talk about. So again, this round of rain is going to move through. It will move out tonight. We'll back it off to just scattered showers for your day tomorrow. And we are anticipating having a lot of clouds around for a good chunk of the day tomorrow, but it looks like more of the lingering showers will be in the morning. Now I know, did they run the race yet? I think not yet. That is like the biggest ever hurry up and wait situation. A horse race is unbelievably like that, but I did see at least the jockeys they're getting up on the horses right now. I just saw somebody hoist themselves up. So I'm gonna go and watch a little horse racing apparently. We're keeping an eye out in case we get any more tornado warnings, but at this point, this is a rain event. And once this punch of this leading edge of this line moves out, we should just have gentle, moderate to at times heavy rain, which can cause a lot of problems as far as flooding goes. If you have evening events, and I specifically think of families who are having graduation parties or weddings, and they get those tents, get ready. Hopefully you have your mud boots because you're gonna need it. It's gonna be a very, very soggy night. In the meantime, we're going to watch this leading edge of the thunderstorms. Jason's over there doing that right now. He will join you tonight on What's Next at 11 with all the latest on this and a look ahead to Marathon Sunday, which is taking place tomorrow, of course. But in the meantime, I'm Chief Meteorologist Betsy Kling. Thanks so much for hanging out with us this evening.